Do I need to clap?
Wait.
Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to the first Pioneer inaugural episode of a new segment called TBH. Tan Bing Hong. And today we are going to be talking about quite a difficult topic, and that is clinginess.
I think no one would ever want to date me. So when I meet someone that wants to, right, my immediate thought is that if this doesn't work out right, I'm fucked.
That was when I realized that my love for the person is very impure, such that the moment I was being shown attention and affection from another person, right, then I can waver very easily.
It feels like as if the person can have a life without you. And that was a concept that was very hard to grasp.
Every time I go to my friend's house, I feel damn awkward. Like, because you don't know what hidden rules they have. Like, is it acceptable to wear socks in there? Like,
Actually, no, it's barely.
can you just sit on any chair?
Actually, can you faster go and get me scissors so I can unbox our package?
God damn it.
But then, that's not the video.
Instructions unclear. Ask for scissors, get Swiss Army knife.
In case at night, dark, right?
Yeah.
Cannot see. We have a orange color.
High visibility.
It was going to be either the Ben 10 themed
Yes.
one, the Bubbles from PPG one, or the South Park one. Yeah.
Okay, be careful with what if it explodes in your face. So, to increase the legitness of this tent, there actually are guidelines and pegs, which we will not use.
All these things,
They just spread open. Believe it, cool up thing.
This is so stupid.
If you
It can't fit the three of us, dude.
wait, haven't set up yet lah.
Quiet, Joyce. Don't be such a negative Nancy. God damn.
Can you keep the frame?
Oh, okay, the can't fit.
Wait, haven't fully expanded.
Oh my god.
Damn easy, sir.
Damn easy guys, okay. So as the outdoor expert of this trio, right, I want to teach you how to pitch a tent in one easy step. If you can open an umbrella, you can pitch this tent. And because of today, I brought two beautiful mood lights from my room.
He got fuse bowl.
Now
Joyce, are you feeling
it's
it?
so moody.
Alright, so we're gonna cut into the real set. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see from our very cozy setup,
Our very cozy $72.
it is winter now.
Easy.
That's why we're in a tent in an aircon room.
That doesn't make any sense.
Damn extra.
Exactly, you took the words right out from my mouth.
This is such a stupid idea.
But I wanted to talk a bit about how, like, honestly, preparing for this conversation, like, is a very icky feeling. Like, when I shared the Clingy Google Docs, right, it's an icky feeling because I feel that there's a lot of shame associated with clinginess, and, like, somehow the media tends to portray, like, girls as the more likely clingy, like the overly attached
Right,
girlfriend
right.
meme, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or like even those like TikTok humor, they always joke about like girls like needing to text you like such that if your goodnight text is at 9 PM, you are free.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of
yeah.
like such jokes, right? Recently, I found out that like the both of you identify as clingy. I mean, by proxy, he told me that you also
That's a
identify.
stretch, but okay.
Identify/identified.
Will you say you're clingy?
When I was in poly, yes. I think it's also exacerbated by the fact that like both people are in school and we had like nothing productive to do with our lives. I guess like the clingy thing for me, it was that my ex-boyfriend had a lot of things going on for him because he had a lot of like hobbies, right? So he would like skate, he would like do BJJ and all that. And I feel that in that BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu,
he Tumblr boy, he don't know one.
I was like, what's
just call it-
BJJ?
yeah. Then
Tell me about
I feel
crochet.
like in that relationship, I just kind of disappeared into the relationship.
I see.
And like you just kind of like follow the person's interests. Not that I mean we did go like
So you
skating.
went Brazil.
I didn't-
You went BJJing.
I mean I went like years after BJJ. 什么是 BJJ 啊
BJJING.
Which is also the next question I want to ask. I feel that in the honeymoon period, right, it is very normal to be clingy. But it gets to a point where you start to like lead your own lives, right? And I think at that point of time, I was like 16 and a half. So I couldn't really like move on from the honeymoon period. So we had a blog, and I remember him writing in the blog saying that like sometimes he worries that when he is busy with his friends that I would have nothing to do. or occupy myself with. And then that was like the first time that I sensed like an imbalance of, or what I had perceived to be an imbalance of like interest in the relationship. So obviously that stung, because at a point of time, like I cannot comprehend that we would eventually have to move on with our lives.
Yeah.
I just felt like he is out of it already.
Yeah. Same. Actually,
And
I understand.
it was a very scary feeling.
Yeah, and I understand.
Yeah.
I understand that sting because it feels like as if like the person can have a life without you, and that was a concept that was very hard to grasp if you were very romantic about a relationship. And that was particularly for me because like your ex, right? My ex was also someone who was actively involved in a lot of various activities, and the miserable part was that was one of those things that I liked about her. Yeah, and that's what made it very even harder to rationalize.
Yeah.
So in my head, there were even sometimes where I painted scenarios that I cannot remember if I articulated, but very unfair scenarios like, oh, after a full day of doing like her activities, immediately she like somehow teleport, go and find me. You know, which if you think about it, is highly unrealistic and unfair because this partner no need rest me.
When you say painted scenarios, it means like you have this like little glimpse of hope that maybe they would really go above and beyond. Same I also had this experience. Like
why are we so broken?
Yeah, then I would think like, oh, like maybe he would like deliver like this thing to me, which he did a few times, but then it's not healthy that you set yourself up for that kind of expectation.
Correct.
I think same for me, I was very clingy in my first relationship. To be fair, only there's also a second relationship. To be fair, until now. But like, as in like now I think better.
Okay.
It was during recess. Then I remember I tell her like, during recess you can text me. I was like, but if you have things to do, like if you want to study or whatever, just tell me you want to study. And then I'll be okay if you're not texting me. For some reason, I thought that was very mature of me. Turns out it was the basic human decency. I was like, wow, so progressive.
So noble.
If you need to study, don't text me. It's okay, bro.
You don't need.
But then, like, during recess, I was like so adamant of her texting me. Then I remember one recess, she never texted me for 15 minutes. And I swear I thought we were gonna break up. Like, I was like, oh my god, she doesn't care about me anymore. Like, shit, what happened? Like, is it like something bad happened? And then I always phrased it as, I am concerned for her. Every time with someone clingy, right, I think one of the biggest phrase they'll use is that I am concerned for your
It's
safety.
a coping mechanism.
Yeah, and I myself, I think I also let myself to believe that I think I was concerned for her.
I feel like it's a very it manifests as a very misguided form of giving.
Yeah.
You think that you are giving yourself, when actually you're giving yourself with a lot of subconscious expectations.
Correct.
Okay, like why do you think that you were so clingy? Like on top of the superficial reason that it was because we are young.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what do you think it stems from?
I really think it's just from emotional immaturity. I was very much subscribed to very romantic points of view.
Yeah.
Like the overly romanticized kind of relationship.
From what, like movies or what?
I think from pop culture, because like prior to that you got no relationship reference, so clearly you learn from somewhere, right? Which is either the people around you or social media and movies, right?
Yeah.
Is it because like they perpetuate the idea that the person has to be like there 24/7, like you just have to be the go-to person, the best friend, the movie buddy, the staycation buddy, everything.
I think
It's
a bit of
Tumblr.
that. Yeah, I think a bit of that.
It's Tumblr. I blame Tumblr.
Do you use Tumblr?
No, I never, so I don't know what he's talking about.
But everyone who uses Tumblr will be able to understand this. Like, it's like a thing. Like, I seen like one post before that like I want my future boyfriend to be my brother, my best friend.
Yeah.
Okay, when you open with brother, I was a bit like I don't know.
No, as in like you have like caring, like protective, like a brother. You know, like
basically a Swiss
partner
Army
in
knife.
crime. Like basically he's everything. You know, and then
Basically your shadow.
If you dig deeper, right, like doesn't the core of insecurity comes from the fact that like you don't have a self, which is why like you rely on this person to be like your happiness.
I think
and when they are paying less attention, the sole source of your happiness is threatened.
I think the insecurity is a few layers. I think different people got different like insecurity. The biggest one for me is that I was very insecure about. I think no one liked me. I think no one would ever want to date me. So when I meet someone that wants to, right, my immediate thought is that if this doesn't work out right, I'm fucked.
Right.
That's it. No one else is gonna date me. That's it really, the end. And I find I've said it so many times to my therapist. And it made it worse that I was suffering the whole anxiety thing. And I'm like, fuck, and even more girls don't want me already. because they want guys who are strong and can like take care of them all that nonsense. And then like I over here crying. So like, if this relationship doesn't work out, right, I'm screwed. That's what I had in mind.
So it's like it's a limiting belief. It comes from a place of lack. I feel like in the first relationship, it's always like that. You think that like this person is
The be all and all.
yeah, and
No, and also I think first relationship you think with your heart more than you think with your head.
yeah. I mean also because like your brain haven't fully developed properly. So this thing, right, is called an anxious attachment. I think you're
Oh yes, attachment style.
right? Yeah. So I read this theory like
It's the attachment
that
theory.
it is something that starts when you're a baby. And they tried it. Like for example, if the baby has been crying for like 6 minutes and you don't pick him up, right? When the parent goes to pick the baby up, the baby actually avoids eye contact, even though they are clinging onto the parent. And later in adulthood, when they interview the people who are anxiously attached, right, and they show them a photo, and they say, okay, the moment you see like this expression changes from like happy to angry, right, you hit the button. The anxiously attached people all hit the button like way before the secure and avoidant ones, because they're more sensitive to like these changes, which is why they will be sensitive to like the little blips in a relationship's lifespan.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Why didn't I think about that? I'm the psychology student.
Yeah, you better assert your dominance and drop
Yeah.
some theories right
Someone so young, use your brain for what?
Okay, it does. I think the attachment theory does make it sound like it's a permanent trait, but like from research, it has shown that your attachment style can change.
It definitely has
Mm,
changed, and I feel like I'm a personal like I personally attest to that.
I mean, the opposite of codependence is interdependence,
Mm.
right? And interdependence is the ability to toggle between like intimacy and distance effortlessly. Like you can be very intimate without fearing that, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't get so close. And you can be very distant without feeling that, oh shit, maybe I'm already dumped.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? On the other hand, codependence is actually, it feels like it's a form of addiction to emotional intimacy, which I feel was really what I was trapped in my first.
So you really loved emotional intimacy.
You just craved, okay, so this is the dangerous part.
Right.
Because that was when I realized that my love for the person is very impure. Because it is very conditional. Such that the moment I was being shown attention and affection from another person, right, then I can waver very easily.
Ah.
Yeah, because
So this other person, regardless of who they are, is just a dispenser of good feelings.
it's like a drug. It's a
Yeah.
drug dealer. And in my first relationship of 4 years, there was one point where such a person emerged. And then I almost ended the relationship. That was like the 2-year mark. Yeah, because I felt that this person can give me the attention that my ex couldn't.
Right.
But then I managed to like guide it back onto the path and like cut off ties with this person. But 2 years later, it happened again. And it didn't work. It didn't help that like my ex at that point was very emotionally unavailable.
Right.
And I was going through like the whole SQ thing. So that was when we really like broke up.
Right.
Because I realized that like maybe he's not the right one.
Yeah.
Because he cannot give me the attention. I think we have some stories. Let me pull out a random
Yeah,
story.
man.
I have 2 stories here. One of them is from a boy named Jonathan, who said that this girl kept throwing herself at me. I woke up late one day to 13 unread messages and 5 missed calls on the 3rd day of the relationship. Another story, once talked to a guy who called me 26 times because I wasn't replying him. I was in the shower. That's by your girlfriend, dude.
Wait,
That's
is it
submission.
really? It's on
It's by
Brianna?
Brianna, yeah. She said, she bracket, talk only okay, not even date. Yeah.
Called 26 times. Did she
Yeah.
take a fucking long shower or
26
something?
I mean, she showers, still need to do skincare, you dry hair. what?
What, how long is a shower? Conceivable.
Shower, after that, still need to dry hair, need to
Yeah.
do
Let's say 1 hour, let's say
skincare.
1 hour.
How to use phone doing all those things?
Yeah, 1 hour. No, I'm saying that he called her
1 hour.
Okay,
once
dude,
every
that's not
2
the
minutes.
point. From the cling point of view, like, it's actually very emotionally unwise to be parking your will to live to putting
Yeah.
that into somebody's like
Exactly.
palm, right? Then from the cling,
The clingy,
Clinger.
clinger and clinger. Get it right.
from the cling, sorry teacher. So from the cling point of view, it's like it's emotional hostage, like very scary. Like if I were to
It's tough,
receive
lah.
that, I don't know what I would do. I sense the need for a 3rd story.
Yes.
Okay, so this story is by SY. So this happened 3 years ago with my ex-boyfriend. Please do not judge. We will
No
not.
judging, no judging.
SY feels like a Xinyi.
Don't try.
No, I don't know because it's a top name, right? If it's JH, it's Jia Hui.
So is she
It was
the
JJ.
Junjie?
Yeah, you know it. I was the clingy one, and
Oh, she's a clinger.
and will always tag along in whatever he's doing. I took away his freedom, forbid him to hang out with his friends. Back then, I was crazy in love with him, and I don't see myself leaving him even for a minute. I was so insecure that he might. I think this is a very key statement. I was so insecure that he might find joy in something or someone else, which result in me being overly attached. So, to make sure he stays with me, I lied to him about me being on pills and then told him to take off the condom. From then on, he's been finishing it in me for like a month or so. I felt guilty all of a sudden and told him the truth. He then broke up with me. This happened 3 years ago. I was not thinking straight. Please forgive me. Again, no judgment. There are many ways to keep your man, and this definitely is not the right way. Good on you.
Actually, this was what I was just talking about.
Also, I'm not pregnant, thank God.
Oh, thank God. Actually, this was what I was just saying, right?
What thing?
With that, like, you feel that you lose this ideal romantic partner to something that divides their energy, and it's a very dehumanizing thing that clingy people do. They don't realize that this person has the other aspects of their lives.
That they can find joy from.
Exactly. And you reach a point where you might even bluff yourself and convince yourself in a very warped way that you were just not being accountable enough to me to reassure me, when it's not even about that.
Correct. Oh
Yeah.
my god. Yeah, because I keep saying like next time you want to do something, just
need to let me know
text
can
me.
already.
I can already. Then I think like wow, fucking benevolent as fuck.
Yeah. No, but like,
But
but we all know that. But we all know that if that even does happen, right?
Yeah.
It clearly wasn't enough.
Exactly. It's them. Yeah. Is this weird mind trick I did on myself to make me say
Jedi mind trick.
that I'm the okay one.
Yeah.
I'm not the problematic one. But actually,
It's to preserve the ego.
It is.
Because you don't want to look like you very desperate. Right?
Then I can tell my friends like I just tell her just text me one can already lah. Then she
But
don't want
she
to even do
never
that.
what.
Walao eh,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Like the bar was so low and she didn't even meet it.
Exactly.
Actually, I feel that the antidote to this mentality, right, is to recognize that like there are a lot of different types of happiness. There's a type of happiness that is like this. There's a type of happiness that is you alone go into forest and hike. There's a type of happiness that is you watch Netflix with your partner.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that like when the partner is doing something else that you lose all happiness. Like you can have different types of happiness.
Correct.
And not make anyone the 100%.
Exactly.
And it's hard to do it, but
No, and the thing is, actually, I feel that anything you invest your time into is something that you feel potentially can recharge you. Right? So it shouldn't be a case whereby you deprive your partner of these aspects because you think that you're the only point of recharging that is deserving of them.
Okay, so maybe let's like play unagony a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Imagine if you had a very clingy partner and
right.
you are embarking on a new phase of life, a new job, new school, new hobby, whatsoever,
Wow.
right? What can you do to make your partner feel less secure? More secure.
Less secure.
More secure.
Less secure, do nothing.
I cannot.
Less secure, hang out more, go to
No,
Cambridge.
actually, I think, right, the first thing, very funnily to say, is to admit and identify that you have a clingy partner.
Actually, I feel like most of the time, people know who is the clingier one. It's just how to speak it into existence. So how to speak it?
How to break the topic.
Yeah,
Wow.
because you have
Because I don't know how to
to
breathe.
be, you
Be
have to be
gentle.
very gentle, because when a clingy person, and clingy / codependent / anxiously attached person
Yeah.
hears that you need space, right? What they're really hearing is that you don't love them anymore.
I see.
Yeah.
Right? So
Exactly.
I feel that like all these conversations, all these very tedious, inconvenient, difficult conversations should be more normalized, and like you cannot shy away from it thinking that like that would be the start of how it ends. At least that's something that I wish I had known when I saw the blog post. That is how a relationship can advance and grow.
Okay, for me, if coming from the once clingy person,
Yeah.
I appreciated it when she helped with the getting me less clingy in a progressive way. So it wasn't straight away like I expect you to leave me alone for 1 week or I'll go overseas and I won't talk to you because I need my time. At the start, whenever let's say like clubbing, when she wants to go clubbing, I was a little bit insecure. I didn't say you cannot go, but I would be like, can you like text me more, that kind of thing. And
Will you have difficulty sleeping? Like if you know that
for the first few times, yeah. And then she went ahead and did things that like made me sleep a bit better. So she would text me like I was like, oh my god, I'm having such a good time, video message. Or like she said she hates setting the wallpaper to the two of us because she's not that kind of girl. But for the club night, she set her wallpaper to whatever I want her to set the wallpaper to. So I set it as a wallpaper of us with a heart in between. And then I wrote to myself, my boyfriend. So that's her wallpaper for the night, so that when guys can't hear her, she can like
like a talisman.
Yeah. Back, evil spirit, back.
The last one is the if both parties are clingy law.
Then match made in heaven.
So they
yeah,
say
is it a
that,
problem?
yeah, they say that they don't know if it's toxic. They enjoyed it at first, but slowly it became a bit annoying. But they still managed to brush it aside because they love that person. And this other girl says that like she would tag along to the boyfriend's like dinner, like cut hair, go down, and she would just play with her phone, such that even the hairdresser knows to expect a +1 when he goes to cut hair. And he likes that she is clingy. Yeah. So when both parties are clingy and they like it, right? Actually, I personally know of some couples like that, right? Does that make it any healthier?
I feel that I can bring in physics here.
Go ahead.
Physics have something called a stable equilibrium and an unstable equilibrium. It's like if you balance a pyramid, right? If you balance it on its base, it's stable. If you really want to balance it, you can actually balance it on its apex also. But that's highly unstable. So I think in a situation like this, it will be a match made in heaven if these two people stay the same forever. But we all know that that's not true.
Honestly, even if like y'all never change, right? Like, wouldn't you feel that like you're not getting the most
Out of your life?
time? Yeah, like you don't get to like.
But I think people's priority will be different as well.
Yeah, different.
I think if you're clingy, right,
We
your priority
cannot-
will be your value is in someone else.
Correct.
But you can like that for like 60 years.
Maybe they can.
Maybe they can. Who knows?
Because it's clearly a concept that none of us can understand. But we have clear examples in our lives of.
Because I look back at like my early 20s, right? When like I spent, was it early 20s? Late 10s. Late 10s,
You mean
early
late
20s.
teens?
Like basically in my first and second relationship, like before I started working. Then to me, right, when I look back at that period of time, like, wow, I think like damn liao gas Like
Damn what?
seriously, like
Liao guess.
damn
What's
waste
liao
time. Liao gas, liao means
Oh.
waste in
Oh,
Hokkien.
okay.
Like I feel that if I hadn't bummed myself out with all these attachment, right? Wow, I could have just gone to experience every orientation camp like in its full
Same.
glory without feeling like, oh, at the end of the day I need to like meet this person at the staircase and like
Report
check
strength.
Yeah, that's the case.
them. No, like
You're like living the typical
I feel
alien
like
dream.
land shop. I feel like I
Arcade.
could have gotten so much more out of my like teenage years.
Yeah.
And that was something that like my godmom actually told me before my first relationship, that this is like the prime, these are your formative years. And I think the fact that I was attached from the ages of 16 to 22 is like very bad news for my sense of self.
I agree.
But obviously I didn't listen to her, and no 16-year-old
Will listen to
if
their
will listen, then it's not 16-year-old.
Yeah.
And sometimes like at the worst you don't even know how to be a son or a friend.
Yeah.
Like when you just want to focus on making the relationship work.
Correct.
And this is one of those paradoxes where like the more you focus on trying to make it work, the more likely it is to crumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The harder you hold, the tighter you squeeze,
Yeah.
right?
It's a Tumblr shit.
And like you know, to those that are watching, right? I just want to say that I'm sorry if you notice the ghosty light behind us switch off because our little lamp ran out of battery.
What's the implication of that on us?
I think we should have a
It will visibly seem as if our conversation is getting darker and darker.
this
Okay,
is
then I think it's time to wrap it up. I wanted to say that, like, if you just got out of a clingy relationship, how you can spend this time is to cultivate like different interests and just like have fun with yourself. And if you are worried that like, you know, you may never find somebody again, just assume that you will never find somebody again.
And do it anyway,
Yeah,
right?
because then you will put pressure on yourself to self-entertain.
Ah.
Yeah, and I think when you are able to create like all these different aspects to your life, right, then maybe it used to be in a relationship like that person is 100%, but now maybe they're only like 40% because you have like maybe another 20% is like climbing, 20% is like traveling, 20% is like work. Yeah, so you want to diversify your emotional portfolio so that you are more well placed lah. Like some things is not like more effort means more return one, and relationship is one of those things. Yeah, so that was the ending note. And with that, we have come to the end of this episode. There's hopefully 20 minutes long. Is it going to be 20 minutes?
I don't know.
But like if you want us to talk about other delicate and vulnerable things, we are happy to share our baggage if you leave something in the comments down below. Yeah, that's all. Peace out.
Leave it down below and
Subscribe, share, like.
Everything, all the
Follow us on
stuff.
Instagram.
Give us
follow
attention.
Follow us on Telegram and
Hashtag cleaner.
yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
If we start a Patreon, please subscribe also. Thank you.
Road to 42010. Oh my god, 420.
The donation box is down below.
420 is about.
420. The donation link is down below. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
And see you guys next time.
Bye bye.
Funny.